get this, I'm laughing because my son can say this verbatim, and he just, in the car, said, who will get this baby? No, who will get this baby? One son asks out loud. Who will take her in and cherish her? She lifts her baby daughter to her breast and guides the nipple to the child's mouth. This baby is slow to suck as if she knows her fate. Chun wills herself to keep such thoughts from her mind. It is all Yuan, destiny. To think of her daughter's fate will not change it. Hadn't her mother told her the sky does not make dead-end streets for people? Hadn't her husband said, when the first pains began just 5 days ago, remember, Chun, we can have more babies if we must? Hadn't he told her this morning as she set out from their home with this baby in the sling bouncing gently against Chun's hip? Remember, Chun, a girl is like water you pour out. And hadn't she nodded when he said this, as if she agreed with him, as if she too believed a daughter was just water that you poured out and let flow away? The child's sucking is lackluster and weak. Perhaps this baby is sickly, Chun thinks. Perhaps her weak sucking is a sign that she will not live long. Chun almost likes the idea. If she's going to lose her daughter anyway, wouldn't it be easier now than at 5 months or 5 years? But then, as if the baby reads Chun's thoughts, she latches on hard and begins to suck voraciously. The baby lifts her eyes toward Chun, eyes that until this moment have not focused on anything at all. Instead, they have been cloudy and half shut like a kitten's. Now the baby settles her solemn gaze right on Chun's face, as if to say, no, mother, I am here to stay. Chun wants to look away, but she cannot. Their eyes, mothers and daughters, stay locked until the baby has her fill. She hiccups softly, then lets her jaw go slack without dropping the nipple completely. It seems she does not want to let go. You must, Chun says softly. You must let go. She intends these words for her daughter, but somehow she seems to be speaking them to herself. The sun is setting, turning the sky a beautiful lavender, the clouds violet and magenta and gray blue. Chun has not allowed herself to call this baby anything, but now she leans forward to kiss the top of her daughter's head, and as she does so, she whispers, Jia, colorful clouds. Then Chun takes the now sleeping baby and settles her into the basket. She places the cotton blanket over her snugly, being sure to tuck it in tight. The basket is of a type particular to her village. Someone who knows her village, who has traveled the 7 hours down these back roads, past fields of kale, would recognize this basket. They would see this sleeping baby in this particular basket and know where she had come from. Chun chides herself for her sentimentality. It is a bad idea to leave clues. Her very own neighbor was recently caught leaving an infant daughter in this very city where Chun now stands. This neighbor brought her baby right up to the door of the social institution, leaving her in a box that had held melons sold in the village market. She had placed the baby there at sunrise, then stood half hidden behind cars parked in the yard. When the head of the institution arrived for work, she saw the woman there and said sternly, "You, what are you doing in this yard?" Of course, the neighbor tried to run, but either fear or guilt kept her there, frozen to that spot behind the cars, crouched and trembling. "You know that I'm legally obliged to call the police," the woman said, "if you've left something here." Her eyes drifted to the doorway where the box sat with the baby inside. "Is that yours?" the woman said, her voice kinder. "I will turn around, and when I look in your direction again, you and your belongings should be gone." The woman did just that. She turned around and waited several minutes. Chun's neighbor ran to the door and took her daughter from the box that had held melons and fled that yard. When she returned home later that day, dusty and hungry, the baby in her arms, her husband slapped her so hard that she fell to the floor. What else could he do, Chun's husband asked her, when she told him this story, which the neighbor herself had told Chun. And Chun had answered nothing. There was nothing else he could do. "What have we learned from this?" Chun's husband asked her. She shook her head. "Number 1, he said, leave the child when it is dark. Number 2, walk away. Number 3, do not go directly to the institution." Chun said, "Number 4. "Number 4, her husband asked, confused. "Number 4, Chun said, do not love the child." Darkness has fallen. It is time. Chun lifts the basket carefully so as not to wake Jia. She emerges from the cluster of trees at the edge of the park and walks across the grass, past the abundant flowers to the pavilion. Tomorrow is the first day of the flower festival, and this now empty park will be filled with people. Someone is sure to find this basket from the distant village with the baby girl inside. And when they see the precious gift there, that person will surely take Jia to the appropriate place. She has been told not to wait to be certain this happens. Her husband has warned her, walk away. But the night is so dark, and the basket looks so small, like a toy, that Chun cannot leave. She stands in the dark, silent park, hesitating. Would it be so terrible to go back to that cluster of trees and wait there? From that place, she can see the pavilion. She will be able to see a person emerge with the basket that holds her baby. She will not have to tell her husband that she has done this. She can simply say that the long walk made her weary and that she slept a long time before heading home. Satisfied with her plan, Chun walks back past the flowers, across the grass, to the cluster of trees. She takes the sling that had just a few hours ago held her newborn daughter and rolls it up like a pillow to put beneath her head. As she looks upward, the leaves make a pattern like lace against the sky. Chun stares at this pattern until she falls asleep. She jolts awake. Chun sits up, her heart beating hard. Even though it is not quite dawn, trucks are pulling into the park. Chun stumbles to her feet. She puts her hand to her chest as if that small gesture can stop the pounding of her heart. Men in orange work clothes emerge from the trucks and begin unloading chairs, swabs of cloth, equipment. They move toward the pavilion, their figures slowly illuminated in the rising sun. Then Chun hears the sound of excited voices. One of the men lifts her basket high, like he has won a prize, and hands it down to the other men. Jia is lost in a blur of orange. Chun waits, unsure of what to do next. Then she turns from the park and walks north toward home with quick, determined steps. Who will get this baby? Wang Chun asks out loud. Who will take her in and cherish her? Of course, she has no answers. Only a mother can love a baby the right way. Only a mother truly cherishes her children. Something in her wants to go back and shout, that is my daughter. But Wang Chun keeps moving steadily away.
Wow.